We are now officially 6 weeks into the Premier League season. The summer transfer window is now over. We're getting a whereabouts of where every single team is. Hence the fact I think it's only fair to redo my Premier League predictions. Do a Premier League predictions video 6 weeks into the season, because we've seen where teams are. We've seen the levels of teams. We've seen every team a fair few times. I think it's fair to judge it now from a good standpoint. So look, let's delve into my redone Premier League predictions this season. First, I predicted Liverpool at the beginning of the season. Now, I know what you're all saying, and I agree with you all. Really, really wrong. I said I thought Núñez was going to be the one who really stepped up. I thought Haaland could have potentially flopped in the Premier League. It's been the complete opposite. Núñez hasn't been able to adjust to the Premier League level. Haaland definitely has. I think he'll break that Premier League record of 31 goals scored in the season. And look, it's pretty much the same City team as last season, but with even more depth with the addition of Alvarez and Phillips, a top striker who's putting away their chances, and games they would have dropped a few more points in last season, they haven't, such as the Palace one that they did win 4-2 this season. There's no doubt in my mind Manchester City will win the league. Here's my thing though. Can Manchester City go invincible? I really think they can. Maybe they might lose one or two games, but that's it. I really think they can go invincible. I think they got the quality, and I struggle to see any teams in the Premier League beating them, potentially in Europe, but in the Premier League, I'm not too sure about that. So look, Manchester City to win the league. Then we start getting to the tasty stuff. Second, I had it nailed on before the season that first and second were going to be Manchester City and Liverpool. First and second, whichever order it was going to go, it would be the Red Men from Anfield and the Blue Boys from Manchester. But it hasn't really turned out like that. Do I think Liverpool will put their foot on the gas? Yes, I think they will step up in the second half of the season. But some clubs such as Ten Hag's Manchester United, Antonio Conte's Tottenham, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal have really stepped up, and I struggled to see Liverpool finishing second, if I'm being honest. That nailed on prediction before the season doesn't look realistic right now. Like I say, I think they will kick on, but even if they really do start picking up points, will it be enough to catch up to the quality of Tottenham, to the quality of Arsenal? We'll have to wait and see. Look, it's definitely interesting with Liverpool because their performances haven't been bad this season. They've just been dropping points, and they've been too easy to play against. Far too easy. You drop back, you counter-attack them. They've been very vulnerable defensively and on the break, especially lacking players in midfield due to injury. Arthur, that's a terrible signing. Look, Liverpool, I'm not going to put them second. Who I am going to put second may shock some of you a lot. I'm going to go with Ten Hag's Manchester United. Hear me out on this, right? Hear me out on Ten Hag's Manchester United. Started off the season absolutely atrociously. Lost 4-0 to Brentford, 2-1 to Brighton. Their club was an absolute joke. But since that 2-1 win against Liverpool, there's been something going on at Old Trafford. Something going on with Ten Hag. I said when they brought him in, this guy is a world-class manager. I wanted him at Spurs in the past. And already now they've got momentum. They've got energy. They've got options. He's made players like Sancho really step up to the expectation of him when he came into the club. Rashford step up to the heights he has done before. And I really think now that they've really kicked on. Like I say, since that result, they beat Liverpool 2-1. Very, very good performance. Every performance has been brilliant since then. Beat Liverpool 2-1. Followed that up, as I say, with a 1-0 win away at St Mary's. Should have won that by more goals. Followed that up with a 1-0 win against Leicester. 3-1 win against Arsenal. They've had a watertight defence since those first two results, where they were leaking goals at the back. And I've always said with Man United, they need to find the right manager who would find the right lineup. You've got so many options of world-class players and non-world-class players who can all turn up and not turn up on their day, but I think Ten Hag's found that lineup. For the first time in years, he's found that lineup that he's going to stick with. I think Martinez and Varane as a centre-back partnership have been and will be fantastic this season. Malacia has really adapted to the Premier League well. Absolutely pocketed Mohamed Salah against Liverpool. At right back, Diego Dalot, he's stepping up this season. The midfield options, Casemiro now being brought into the club. You know, Bruno Fernandes stepping up to the heights he was a couple years ago. They've got some options such as Freddie McTominay, who can step up as well, but they aren't in the starting lineup. They've got fantastic options in midfield, and then up top, Cristiano Ronaldo can be phenomenal on his day. We know that. Anthony, who's really stepped up in the Premier League with a great performance against Arsenal, scored and could have scored a couple more. And look, Rashford back to the heights he was. Sancho stepping up. Elanga is a good option. I think Man United have very, very good depth. I think the summer signings of Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, Tyrick Malacia have really, really helped out the club. And that's why I'm going to go with a controversial Manchester United second place finish. Third place, I'm going to have to go with Antonio Conte's Spurs. I'm going to have to go with our lads. Look, I think we will get third. I think Conte is grinding out results since he's come into the club. He's gained 58 points. Only one club's gained more. I said that in my video the other day. Manchester City with 60 points. And look, the football we can play when we step up, the squad depth, the variety, just the grinding out results which we weren't doing before. You look at our record, there's no doubt about it. Yes, we've got Arsenal away at the Emirates, which is going to be a very, very tough game. But, you know, we've drew 2 games. We've won 6, I believe. Or no, won 5 or 6 and drew 2 games. And those 2 games are 2 games we notoriously lose at. Stamford Bridge away, when Chelsea were playing the best I've seen them play. And West Ham, who, yes, haven't had the best start to the season, but we notoriously don't do well at the London Stadium. We didn't do well at the Berlin. So look, I think the fact we're grinding out results, I think the fact there's a lot more competition for places, which is making our front 3 step up because they know their places are constantly in jeopardy. Look, I still think there's more to come for us. I still think the performance side of things can get better. But the big thing is we've started this season fantastically and we haven't even been playing our best football. So look, a lot of positives from a Spurs perspective, hence the fact I am going to put us third. And I don't think that's biased. I think I've seen a lot of opposition fans put us third. And for those reasons I mentioned, the squad depth, the competition, like I say, I think will massively close that gap to City. And just a constant gaining of points. So look, I'm going to go with our lads, the boys, Yid Army, the Yids, Tottenham Hotspur, third place. Fourth place, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. I'm going to go with Arsenal. It's painful saying that. I'd love to go with Liverpool, but I think Arsenal have got something there. And like I say, I think they will get top 4 this season. Could they get more? Could they finish above us? I'll be a tribal idiot if I have to. I'm not going to say that Arsenal will finish above us. I genuinely don't believe they will, but if I actually did, I wouldn't say it anyway. But look, Arsenal 4th for a number of reasons. One, the squad depth. I think they have better squad depth than Chelsea at the minute, in all honesty. Chelsea have squad depth, but all in defence, not players who are going to make an impact off the bench when they're losing a game. So look, yeah, I'd have to go with Arsenal 4th. I think they've strengthened in places massively. I think Saliba, even as an opposition fan, I'll take him in Spurs within an instant. I think he's a very, very solid, young, exciting defender who plays like he's in his 30s. He plays like an experienced defender. But he's not. Got to remember, this guy's, 22, 23? He's a really, really talented centre-back. Jesus, I think he fits perfectly into that Arsenal team. Zinchenko fits perfectly into that Arsenal team. The only thing is injuries. If they get a lot of injuries, they could really struggle. They could struggle a little bit more than us, Manchester City and Manchester United will in terms of attacking depth. But look, I think as a whole, they do look a really, really strong team. Hence the fact I am going to go Arsenal 4th. Liverpool, who were in the Champions League final last year. Liverpool, who won the FA Cup and Carabao Cup and took the league to the last day. I think are going to finish 5th this season. And I don't think it's necessarily their fault. I think they've weakened, if I'm being honest. I think Núñez definitely has the ability to be a good player, and I think he will step up to be a good player for Liverpool. But is he as good as Mane? No. Will he be as good as Mane? Let's be honest. No. So, look, they've weakened, if anything, Liverpool, losing one of their best players over the last few years. They got injuries. They've constantly got injury struggles, and it affects them year after year after year. I think that's partly Klopp's style of play. But look, it's just something not right about Liverpool. They're just not picking up results when they should be. Their defence is leaking goals at the back, and it happens a lot. I'm not saying players will ever get bored of success, but there's only so much success and challenging Liverpool can do for the title, whereas they think, we could lose this on the last day to Manchester City. I think they've weakened. And especially this season, whilst Chelsea have strengthened even, I think they'll finish above Chelsea. Chelsea we'll get to in a minute in 6th, but we've massively strengthened. Arsenal have strengthened. City have even strengthened. Manchester United have strengthened. They haven't really. They've brought in Núñez, Carvalho. They haven't hugely strengthened. So look, I'm going to go with Liverpool 5th. I think they'll narrowly miss out on top 4. I think Arsenal will narrowly finish above them. And then I think us Manchester United, I think us and Man United will be close, and City potentially about 5 to 10 points clear of us two. But look, that's my top 4 prediction. Europa League, Liverpool in 5th. I'd have to go with Chelsea in 6th. I just don't think they're as strong as the other teams. They've strengthened defensively. Yes, but Fofana, is he really that good? Very, very overrated in my opinion. Koulibaly good. But is he pacey enough as a centre-back in the Premier League? He's got experience, but he's proved that put a pacey player up against him, he really, really struggles. All of this strengthening in the defence is not brilliant. They've brought in Sterling and Aubameyang. Aubameyang came there to play with Thomas Tuchel, or under Thomas Tuchel. That's the only reason he came to Chelsea. And then they went on and sacked Thomas Tuchel. So look, will he really step up as the striker they need him to? Will Ziyech step up? Sterling step up? I just don't think they're as strong as the other 5 teams. Hence the fact I'm going to go, and it makes me smile, I'm going to go with Chelsea 6th. Like I say, of course I hate Arsenal, but I have a massive amount of hatred for Chelsea, just their fan base and everything about them. Winds me up. 7th, I was thinking Newcastle. Seem to be dropping a lot of points. Newcastle this season. Villa, before the season, were put in place for 7th. They don't look like they can come anywhere near Europe. West Ham, nowhere near Europe for me this season. I think a mid-table finish. So you've got to be considering a couple of clubs like Fulham. Could Fulham, who everyone predicted in the relegation zone, potentially get into Europe? Leicester aren't getting in Europe, that's for sure. Any other teams? Wolves? Probably not. That 7th place, it's between a number of clubs for me. It's between Newcastle, Brighton, I would have said, but sacking Graham Potter. Crystal Palace, I think, could really contend for Europe this season under Vieira. I'm going to go with Newcastle, purely because I think they don't have as much competition, and I think they're a level above others in the middle of the table, but just not to the level yet where they're going to be able to compete with the top 6. I think next season definitely, but they're strengthening the right way. Alexander Isak, that's a fantastic signing, not a massive name, but a fantastic signing. Botman's a great signing. Keeping hold of St. Maximan is huge. I think, season on season they're going to strengthen, and credit to them. So look, Newcastle in 7th. That's my European competitions. I'm not going to predict the rest of the table. I'm going to predict the relegation zone now. Before Fulham were assured to go down, I don't think they'll be anywhere near the relegation zone. I think Fulham will finish 9th or 8th. Honestly, I do. I think the football they're playing, some of the players they have, such as Paulinho, Mitrovic stepping up in the Prem, I think they're playing really, really good. Relegation. Bournemouth, they would have gone straight down. But look, a point away at St James's Park, a 3-2 win against Forest. Since they've sacked Scott Parker, they haven't lost. They drew 0-0 with Wolves. They after a 9-0 win, they bounced back from that brilliantly with a 0-0 draw against Wolves, a 3-2 win. A couple of draws as well. I do still think they'll go down. I do. I think Villa can step it up, and I think they've got a bit of quality. And I think they can pick up results. I think they'll be close to the relegation zone. Bournemouth I'm going to put down. I'm going to put Forest down. I think when you replace your whole squad like that, it is really dangerous. And I like some of their players. I like the manager. But changing the whole squad just like that and expecting them to all fit in, it's going to take a long time. So look, Forest, I wouldn't be surprised. Their owners have shown ambition. It's just too much for me. Too much for me. Forest and Bournemouth, I think, will go down. Fulham won't go down. But who will? Will Leicester go down? Big trouble. I'm going to answer that question. No. Do I think they'll be close to the relegation zone? Yes. But do I think they'll actually go down? No. I think they've got quality in that team. I think if they keep Brendan Rodgers, they will go down. But I don't think they will. There is the issue about paying him off for 15 bloody million, but I don't think they'll keep Brendan Rodgers. So I don't think they'll go down because of that. West Ham? Could West Ham go down? You know, poor start. But I'm going to tell you my prediction. Southampton. I think Southampton have quality in a lot of parts of their team. I think players such as James Ward-Prowse on his day can be fantastic. Aribo is a very good signing. They're a young team, and I think this young team can develop and really make it in the Premier League in the future. But with everyone else strengthening and players who are not world class but class players that the likes of West Ham have and Leicester have, I think will be the difference between them staying up and a Southampton and potentially Brighton now that they've lost Graham Potter. You know, that's the difference. Class players. There's playing well and then there's class players. So look, will they go down? That's the thing. They always sort of finish 16th, 17th, but narrowly avoid it. It's going to be interesting to see. It's very interesting season, intriguing season for the top four, the title even. Questions about Spurs and Arsenal pushing, Europa League, relegation. It's a very intriguing season. Very intriguing season. Look, I want to hear your predictions. Comment down below your top four predictions, your title winners this season, who you think is going to become runners-up. Will Tottenham get in the top four? Will Arsenal? Will United? Will Chelsea? Who's finishing in the Europa League? Who's going down? I want to know all of it. So look, thank you for watching this video. Take care of yourselves. All the best. God bless. You guys are absolutely smashing. Take care. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte, we trust.